Hello and welcome to another special 5 News programme on what's happening in Greece at the moment. And today we had the news of an awful accident. A firefighting plane on the island of Evia crashed, and in the past few minutes it's been confirmed that both crew members died. Well, across Greece, firefighters and civilians are doing their best to save their land, save their businesses and livelihoods, and save their families and friends from the threat of these fires. And there have been more rescue flights today to bring home hundreds of British families. We'll have some of their stories for you a little later in the programme. But first, though, we've got this report from the island of Rhodes and our correspondent, Druker.
We won't show you the horrifying aftermath, but this is the moment a plane fighting wildfires over the island of Evia came to harm itself. Reports suggest at least 2 were on board. As Greece deals with new grief, there is the destruction of the last few days to absorb. The owner of this bar in Rhodes allowed us in to see the damage caused after flames surrounded, then consumed his business. This TV was only recently installed, he told us. He then showed a team of damage surveyors the wreckage. Just days ago, this place was one of the busiest on the island. At a nearby hotel, the suitcases of the guests who had to abandon their rooms are now waiting to be collected. Many left this resort for emergency boats with just a few minutes' notice. The manager here said fear intensified over the course of Saturday morning.
3-4 days before we were watching the smoke, guests were asking me, is this far? Yes, it was far. But it was coming. It was a real fire everywhere. I mean, from all the sides of the hotel, the fire was coming. But my employees, most of them, they stayed at the hotel because I was sure that the buildings, nothing happened to our buildings.
Throughout the day, firefighters have continued to tackle the flames. With the temperatures refusing to drop, the heat is continuing to move inland. Mountainous forest areas are especially vulnerable. Conditions are incredibly difficult for those attempting to dampen the fire, extinguishing some flames while many start elsewhere. The Prime Minister of Greece today warned his country there is a difficult summer ahead. Inside this wreckage, they are already feeling it.
Well, let's show you some pictures we're getting live from the island of Rhodes now. You can see some of those clouds, you can see some of the fires burning, and as it sort of pans out, hopefully we can give you an idea of just how dark some of the skies are there around Greece, with all that smoke coming up from those fires we've been telling you about over the last few days. And on the island of Rhodes, we've got our correspondent, Druker. We've heard his report. We can hear from him now as well. Julian, let's pick up with that really difficult news we've heard today of that accident on the island of Evia. I understand you've got an update on that, and you can tell us a little bit more about what it's been like on Rhodes today.
Hi there, Dan. Yeah, the awful footage was actually shown live on TV here as they showed live coverage of the attempts, the emergency attempts there. Both of the pilots have now died, as we heard in the last few minutes. The Air Force had a search and rescue operation, but they knew that there was no ejection system on that plane, and those planes do have to fly really close to the things they're throwing water on, and it is thought that the wingtip of the plane got caught in a tree branch underneath. Those repatriation flights, though, continue on this, the 8th day of the situation here. Greece's tourism minister saying that only 10 to 20% of the island is affected. She is saying that people, Brits, should still come here. But there is a huge problem still as well, apart from the wildfires. That is power. That resort hotel we went to today, they cannot reopen until power is restored. We keep having power cuts on this part of the island. So that is just one element in this perfect storm that Greece is suffering at the moment.
Julian, stay with us. I know that you can't see what we can see at the moment, but we were just showing our viewers those pictures from elsewhere on Rhodes with the sky blackened with smoke. It looks like a perfect holiday picture behind you. give us an idea geographically of how far away you are from that and why things are so different across the island at the moment.
Well, the huge problem is the wind, actually. You could probably just hear it around us at the moment. It has been really sporadic, actually, and that bar we just saw, the places next to it hadn't been affected. So it's been a really random attack on various places. This is why various ministers are stressing that only certain bits of the island have been affected. When we had the wildfires 2 years ago that I came to in Evia as well, it was a much more sort of blanket devastation. But here, as I say, it has been really random. The wind keeps picking up, the temperature isn't dropping, but that is why these firefighters are finding it so hard, really, as it ends in one place, it starts in another place, and it is really difficult for these firefighters to get coverage, really, of this whole island.
Julian, thank you very much for the moment. We'll hopefully be back with you later in the programme. That's Julian Druker live for us in Rhodes at the moment.